Chicago is definitely a beautiful place for investors to invest their money in, especially if you're dealing with real estate. Hi there, this is Gabby with Nex-Gen Real Estate and Property Management, serving all of Chicagoland in their real estate needs. And if you want to stay connected, please subscribe to get updated on our latest content. As always, you can find a link below to schedule a free consultation with me. Despite a rush of negative headlines, Chicago has remained economically viable and livable. Chicago real estate is a no-brainer for property investors searching for an approachable gateway location. It has a strong economy, similar to that of a coastal economic New York and Los Angeles, while some people may find it much cleaner and friendlier than the former. Here are the different reasons why Chicago real estate is still a good investment. Upward trend of rental prices. Since the beginning of the pandemic, rent costs have been significantly rising, and this trend is expected to continue beyond 2022. In most locations, there just aren't enough rental apartments to match the demand. With more demand than supply, rent raises are all but inevitable. The trend is the same for industrial rentals. The demand for industrial assets is very high. Because of the epidemic, the desire for more warehouse and industrial space by e-commerce enterprises will very probably continue into 2022 and beyond, resulting in more investors and corporations picking up those locations. The change from in-store to online buying that has occurred in the last 2 years has aided that rapid commerce growth. As a result, there has been a significant increase in demand for industrial assets, such as warehouses, to store all of the things sold by these shops. Chicago is the city of renters. Over 54% rent homes here. Rents in Chicago are expected to rise gradually into 2023, putting landlords in the driver's seat. Rents in Naperville and Arlington Heights, both in suburban Chicago, have risen by double digits as residents seek more space and less congested environment. In the Chicago metropolitan area, renter-occupied households account for 54% of all occupied housing units. In Chicago, millennials and Generation Z account for 41% of that population. New City, Pullman, and Riverdale are the cheapest areas in Chicago for renters right now, with monthly rates of $1,200. Rising Chicago property costs are possibly another reason why more residents in the Chicagoland area prefer to rent rather than own their homes. These figures contribute to the rental market in Chicago being appealing to both local and remote real estate investors. Home prices appreciation. The historic price changes and the affordability of housing in the metropolitan area are two of the most important criteria rental property investors use to examine demand and rental housing in the market. Workers and small companies are being priced out of the coastal communities as housing prices continue to rise at an exponential rate. Meanwhile, people looking to buy a single-family home, condo, or multi-family complex can do so in Chicago. To highlight the disparity in the housing expenses, compare Chicago's $325,000 median home price to Miami's $485,000, New York's $919,000, and LA's $1,949,000, with San Francisco mind-boggling $1.2 million. And Chicago homes increase in value year by year, contingent on market conditions and property upgrades. Growing market population. According to 2017 analysis of U.S. Census data conducted by the Central Area Committee and cited by Crain's Chicago Business, Chicago is one of the most educated workforces in the country. Each year, thousands of college graduates from top-ranked colleges such as Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Indiana flock to Chicago to work for the best corporations. An influx of new jobs in industry, banking, agriculture, and retail at the turn of the century not only drew millions of people to Chicago, but also created the basis for the city to become a significant transportation center for both passengers and freight. As a result, businesses may access a large pool of talent at a lower cost than on the coast, making Chicago a particularly appealing headquarters location. So as the worker population grows, so does the volume of renters looking for a place to live while working in the different industries operating within Chicagoland. Best sports city. Attracting sports fans and athletes to stay within the city. The Windy City appears to have an endless supply of entertainment possibilities. Many of those events fortunately for sports enthusiasts, revolve around athletic competitions. The abundance of sports teams, Midwestern charm, and the rich history of Chicago making it a fantastic spot to be a sports fan. You will also see someone wearing Bears, Bulls, Hogs, Cubs, or Sox gear if you go through downtown Chicago on any given day of the year. The Windy City's residents live and die by their teams. Chicago is one of the 10 American cities with clubs in each of the 5 major professional sports teams: baseball, football, basketball, hockey, and soccer. Sporting News has named Chicago the best sports city 3 times. This makes a prime place for athletes and sports fans to congregate. Let's not forget the outstanding locations. With diverse sceneries, Chicago is one of the top cities in the United States, offers some of the most spectacular sights to see once in a lifetime. The city attracts visitors from all over the world because of its vibrant art scene, numerous cultural attractions, excellent shopping, and interesting architectures. These locations provide unparalleled appeal to newcomers, encouraging them to move into Chicago. And let's not forget the hedge against inflation. An inflation hedge is a financial instrument desired to safeguard a currency's purchasing power against the loss of value caused by rising prices, either macroeconomically or due to inflation. It usually entails purchasing an asset with an expectation of maintaining or increasing its value over a fixed length of time. And now, more than ever, in these times when inflation is out of control, you feel like your money is losing its value daily. But if you invest in an asset such as real estate, you will better protect your money. As I've mentioned before, home values generally appreciate over time, so this is a perfect way to invest and fight the inflation. But as with any venture, there are some risks involved, and the risks in Chicago are high taxes. Chicago is one of the places where there is consistent increase in income and property taxes. These taxes could seriously eat into your profits. Illinois ranks 48th out of 50 states and currently has the 8th highest cost of home ownership in the US, up from 25th in the pre-housing bubble period. Homeowners in Illinois now pay $10.15 in annual costs associated with owning their property for every $100 in their home worth, and that is more than in 42 different states. Illinois and Chicago is a tenant-friendly legislation. Because Chicago has one of the strictest landlord climates in the country, Illinois is considered a tenant-friendly state. Illinois landlord-tenant regulations are reasonably basic, while Chicago's laws are more complicated. Landlords withhold money more frequently for property damage than for the late rent or utilities. In fact, 82% of Illinois landlords withhold a portion of the security deposit for property damage. Security deposits are a good technique to see if a tenant is careful with their money, in addition to covering expenditures at the conclusion of their tenancy. Landlords frequently demand a security deposit to determine whether the tenant has saved enough money to cover the entire security deposit. A tenant has taken 19% of Illinois landlords to court. Unpaid rent, reluctancy to pay rent, and late rents are all common causes for going to court in Illinois. And of course, high maintenance because of the locations of natural disasters. Natural disasters ranging from hurricanes and earthquakes have the potential to disrupt not just the lives of local citizens, but also cost government, businesses, and individual residents a significant amount of money. Individual property owners in the impact region bear the brunt of those costs. Large-scale natural disasters have become more common in recent decades, resulting in higher financial costs than at any other period in history. There were 50 such events in Chicago between 2018 and 2022, causing a total of $237.2 billion in damages. All things considered, Chicago real estate is still a good investment. As the city's housing demand grows, home prices are expected to rise over the years. It's remarkable to watch how prices are soaring not only in the metropolitan area, but also in the outskirts despite the pandemic. With a population of 3 million people, there is always a demand for rental properties, which is a great opportunity for you as an investor. Rental households account for 54% of all occupied units in the metropolitan region. So running a real estate business in Chicago is a solid bet. Just remember, exercise due diligence diligence and plan well before investigating on any Chicago property. And of course, follow Chicago laws. Interested in chatting about real estate? Book a free consultation with me in the link below. Thanks for watching, and as always, foresee your future.